Hi, my name's Jessica Carter. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and 7 years ago I moved to Costa Rica taking the challenge to be a missionary with Christ for the city, following the call of God in my life. So I'm dedicated as a missionary here in Christ for the city. I began working in Carpio doing sports ministry, and about 4 years ago, God called me into a new ministry of working with women that are coming out of addiction. And so today I run the program Kairos, which is a home for girls coming out of addiction who want a new life, and God is transforming their lives. And so as a missionary with Christ for the city, I have the privilege to watch God work every day. So about 4 years ago, I believe, or 3.5 years ago, I began praying for a home for girls because I had worked with the refuge for about a year, and I watched as men were being transformed by the power of Jesus Christ. But I began to ask the question, what happens with the women? One day I went to Carpio and I was meeting with a girl, her name was Candy. And I sat in her house as she cried and shared that the night before she had tried to take her own life. She was trapped in addiction, and at this moment they were going to kill her for a drug debt. And my heart broke, and I realized the only thing I had to give her in that moment was Jesus Christ. And in that moment she received Jesus, and we took her to camp where she was baptized and given a new life. But I said, what happens after that? Where can she go? How can I help her not go back to the same life she was living? And sadly, I had no answers. And so I began praying, but I didn't realize that my prayers were going to be me the answer. And so in December, I began looking for a piece of land to build my own house. My plan was to, instead of renting, I would pay a mortgage and continue. And so I had planned, as you can see the container behind me, I had bought a container and I was going to live here. But about 15 days into building, God began to speak to my heart like never before. And he said, this house isn't just for you. It's going to be where my glory is going to descend, and girls are going to be transformed by the power of Jesus Christ, and addiction will be broke, suicide, gang members. This was going to be a place of explosion of transformation. And so at that point, I had two decisions: to do what I've always done and say, God, that's cool, but once I have it figured out, once I have the money, once I can have it all planned, I'll do it, or take a step of faith like never before. And so I decided to take that step. And so I began building. As you can see, there's a second floor on my house. And so we added the second floor, and I was able to watch God provide in a way that I've never seen, and watch his hand, his powerful hand of miracles after miracle. And so today, 3 years in, I now have 5 girls living with me. It's kind of changed throughout the time. There's been 2, 3. The most I've had is 8. And so right now there's 5 girls whose lives are being completely transformed by the power of Jesus.